Right, with me on the show today, I have Thomas Youngblood, guitarist, founding member of American metal band Kamelot. Thomas, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going down there? We're here in Florida. Good to talk to you. Looking forward to our tour in Australia coming up.
Oh, it'll be fantastic. I'll just backtrack to a bit of the early years, if you don't mind.
No, let's go for it.
Early on, I'm a long-time fan. Early on, the sound was still evolving. Now, to me, the Kamelot really seemed to hit their stride with the release of the Fourth Legacy album. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, in my opinion, I think the Black Halo, or actually Karma, is really when we started to kind of hone in on our own sound. The Fourth Legacy was the start of that. I think when we started working with Sasha and Miro, the producers in Germany, they were the instrumental in kind of going, okay, let's take this and this, and this is what you guys do good. Let's focus on these things. And they were the first professional producers we really started working with. And then from that point on, we started to really kind of feel like we were creating something unique and original. And then, you know, with Karma and then the Black Halo, those records, I think they started really kind of forging the way for where we are today.
Yeah, the song Karma, I think, is a real defining moment in the band's history. It just seems to nail everything that you're on about.
Well, yeah, thank you. I mean, that was actually, I remember discussing the subject of that song, and really, and there was a time actually when we were working on that record, and there's a lot of movies coming out, and a lot of things about, you know, not necessarily the exact term karma, but these sort of things about how you treat yourself, how you treat other people, and all this sort of circle, you know, that these things that come back to you. And we really felt like it was important to kind of put that into one of the songs. And then eventually, of course, it was the name of the album, which is also, in my opinion, you know, a very important record for me personally, because of a lot of things that were going on in my home life that was kind of difficult to get through. But so that record has a lot of different special meanings for me.
Excellent. Then Epica and the Black Halo. Now, they were released a couple of years apart, but it's really two parts to one story. Tell us about how that story came to be.
Well, we had been throwing around the idea of doing a concept record, and so the idea of the Faust story, Goethe's Faust, was something that we started tossing around, and we really didn't know if it was going to be one part or two parts. I think originally we were going to make it one part, and we thought this is just too much to it. We want to make two parts, and and in the beginning, the idea was to call the Black Halo Epica Part 2, which I thought was a mistake. I really hate the idea of sequels. I think each thing should have its own kind of spirit, even though it might be a Part 2. Technically. So that's why I wanted to make sure that was titled two different names, and those are both intertwined albums that tell one story.
Right. Then you got the live DVD. You're getting bigger in Europe all this time, and the live DVD from Norway there. That was a big show.
Yeah, I mean, and now that I think back, you know, we were really excited about the fact that we even sold out that venue, and but you know, then we went back to Oslo and played in the bigger venue, which was almost double the capacity, and then we went back 2 years later and played two shows in a row in the bigger venue. So we really. The show that we did for the DVD, we're very, very proud of, but the band has grown quite a bit since then. So I'm excited about the next DVD shoot, which we're probably going to do in Europe at an even bigger venue than the one in the bigger one in Norway. So it's great. I think it's a testament to our fans, and also to the band working hard and having a great team around us.
Excellent. Ghost opera, and then poetry for the poisoned in between. Now the latest one, the Poetry for the Poisoned, I'm talking about, coming out in September 2010. Now straight after that, we here, on the other side of the world, started hearing reports on Roy being ill. Looking back, was there any signs?
No, not really. I mean, there were some strange statements, at some of the shows, but they weren't really foreseeing any kind of breakdown, Yeah. So no, there really wasn't. I mean, we were planning really big. We were planning bigger shows and big events and things like that. So it was pretty much out of the blue. I mean, I knew he didn't really want to tour the United States, and then and I thought maybe it's just the U.S. He doesn't want to tour the U.S. And then when the European tour came up, and that we definitely knew that he was done with it. And in hindsight, at the time I was kind of I was really pissed off about the whole deal. But in hindsight now, I kind of see how this business is very stressful for some people, and if you don't, there's different ways of handling it. If you can't handle it a certain way, then the best thing to do is probably to walk away from it.
Yeah. Now you had to do the Prog Power show in I think that was in Atlanta, wasn't it? And you got in Michael from Circus Maximus. How was that show?
That was great. I mean, we originally brought Michael in to do the whole tour, and we just felt like it wasn't enough. It wasn't his fault. It was just a time to prepare, those kind of things, and I'd already flown everybody over. We'd already spent a ton of money, so I thought, let's just do Prog Power. Those guys are friends of ours. Those fans are very cool and open-minded, and so the show went off great. We brought some different special guests like Tommy Karavic, who eventually became the new singer. He came on stage. We had Charlotte from Delane come on stage with us. So it was a really fun night. Yeah,
I was going to get on to the subject of Tommy, because you did a fair old tour in Europe with Fabio from Rhapsody of Fire filling in, and one of the guest vocalists, if you don't, if that's saying, was Tommy. Now, looking back, was there a time when he was like on stage doing that, and you thought, this is the guy?
Well, I thought this could be the guy before I even invited him to Prog Power, because I watched some videos and I knew that vocally he could be the guy, And actually on the tour, it was a little bit the way that we kind of did it was we brought him out for one song or two songs every night, just to kind of get him to get a gauge to how he is with the crowd and how he is with the band. But since he wasn't the main singer, he never really assimilated into the whole machinery.
Yeah, okay.
And so we still weren't really sure if it was something he wanted and if it was something that would work. And then when we started working on demos for the new album, he just totally kicked ass with ideas and melodies. And then when we did our very, very first concert with him, and this was at Masters of Rock in Czech Republic, there was 30,000 people. He totally kicked ass. I mean, it was like, I was so happy I was happy for the band, of course, but I was more than anything happy for him because he did such a great job, and I know there was a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah. Now, in April, there was an official announcement that Roy had, officially left the band, and you were searching for a new singer. And then June, Tommy was announced officially as the new vocalist. How was that received?
Oh, fantastic! I think most people kind of expected that people that kind of knew the genre, knew the options that we had. I mean, there was a lot of people that applied for the job that were more well known, but they didn't have that kind of sound that I really wanted, And I think this Scandinavian style approach was whether it was conscious or subconscious was something that I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get the impression that you think he's fitted in quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of new fans now, but we've been able to maintain quite a bit of our fan base, which is great. I mean, which we love. Our fans are amazing, and then we also have new fans. That with every record, every band has a kind of a new set of fan base because for whatever reason, with what's going on in the world, everything's so busy. People have never heard of certain bands, and then all of a sudden they see a video, they're like, "Oh, I'll check this band out." And they have no idea that you have 10 records, So that's also a very cool thing because I think we have a fan base that is broad, from the 50-year-old prog guys to the 13, 14-year-old, gothic chick or whatever, So it's really fun to go to a Kamelot show and see this nice broad spectrum of fans.
Well, there's going to be a broad spectrum because my whole family's going.
Right,
my wife and my two kids. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. Now you just released recently Silverthorn. That's your 10th album. Now, a first album with a new vocalist is always a big step for a band. Was it like starting over? Were you nervous?
No, we approached this whole thing like honestly, I wanted to approach this like it's another record. I kind of looked at some other bands that have done this, and that's what they did. They didn't change their style drastically, and they just moved forward, and that's kind of the way we looked at it. Everybody in the band from day one said, this is what we love doing, and they were confident that the songs would be as good or better than what we've done before, and so working with Oliver for the first time as a songwriter was also, I think, a huge bonus, and I only kind of wish I would have done that before now. Yeah. So it's kind of it's a revelation in a way, but I'm looking forward to working with him on the next records now. So it was always something we kind of put off because we felt the chemistry might get kind of messed with a little bit. Yeah. Okay. But it worked great. Actually, way better than I expected.
Yeah. Now, with the live scene in Europe, you seem to be in all the big European festivals. You seem to have been a staple in them for a while. How important are those shows in breaking bands in Europe? Are they very?
I don't really know.
Are they very important in breaking it, or just the icing on the cake?
I think it's more of the icing on the cake. I mean, it's hard. I was talking to someone about that last week. Actually, if festivals actually are something that helps build a band's fan base, I think it depends on the show that you do. It depends on how much you can do. Like when we play Vakken, for example, we bring full pyros. We make it as massive as possible. So, it's kind of hard to ignore that kind of show, even if you're just over there getting a beer. You're going to look back at the stage and go, what is that going on over there? Yeah. But if you just go into a tent show or something, it's kind of hard to kind of stand out from the rest of the sea of bands that are there. Yeah. But it's always a good experience, at least. It's always kind of a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Now, Australia, apart from me bugging you on Facebook and the Kamelot forum and all that, you must have had heaps of people bugging you to come down to Australia.
Yeah, we have, actually. And finally we're coming down there. So it's so good to be able to say that to people that have been asking. And we're getting the same thing right now for South America, and I've been working very hard on trying to get a nice South American tour planned. But it's really cool to be able to finally say, yes, we're finally coming to Australia.
Now, I see you slotting us in after you play in Japan. Now, it's a pity that more bands don't do that. I mean, because we're almost in the same.
Same time. I think it all comes down to, it's very expensive to do this kind of things, and it comes down to the promoter being able to help pay for it. And it's like, you know, I don't think any of the bands going down there are making much money or any money. It's more of a thing to go, look, we want to play for our fans down there. We'd love to see the country, but at the end of the day, it still costs a lot of money. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just good that we're able to do it this time, and we hope that you know, if everything works out great, we'll be able to come down there with each record to make it kind of more of a regular thing for us.
Well, we'd love that. Now, in Australia, you're doing it the Australian way. You're doing a pub club tour, or one. Yeah, it's a pretty quick one, but you're doing it the Australian way. Now, playing gigs the size that you are playing, is that almost like starting over? Well, you basically are starting over in Australia, aren't you?
There's always times like, you know, smaller clubs that, like in the States, we might play a place that holds 3,000 people, and then on the way from Los Angeles to Texas, we play a club that holds 600 people. Yeah. You know, so there's always those kind of things. At least at this point, there's always those kind of things that are, and it's actually, some of those shows are the best ever. You know, you're really close to the fans, and you know, they really appreciate it, and it's yeah, I mean, it's not, you can't bring in pyros and massive lights and stuff, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to be able to put on a good show with just the band. You know?
Yeah. From a fan point of view, the club that you're playing in Adelaide is going to be perfect for us as fans, because you're going to be nice and close. You're going to be right in our faces. We're going to be right in your faces. You may have to tone down the pyros there, though, because the ceiling ain't the highest. And I've seen a few bands set fire to ceiling, so we'll kind of leave that alone. What do we expect? What do we expect from a Kamelot show?
Well, we won't be bringing any pyros down to Australia, I can tell you. But you know, we're gonna do as much as we can. You know, considering we're flying in for the shows, and we're relying on backline from the local backline companies and the lighting from whatever the club has. So, but you know, like I said, I think any band that they have to be able to play their songs, they have to be able to sound good, they have to be able to react, connect with the fans. Exactly. You know, you can have all kind of lights and all kind of other crap, you know, but if you can't do that, it doesn't really matter. So I think the fans just need to be as loud as they can and be part of the show, and I think we're going to all have a great time.
Excellent. You're bringing any guests on stage with you here? Have we got any of the backing vocalists at all? Yeah, it looks like Alyssa is going to come with us, the girl from The Agonist. Okay.
She's amazing. She was on tour with us in the U.S. and such a great singer. She can also sing really good, but she also does the growl parts, which is really awesome to watch. It's a really beautiful girl doing these sick, monstrous growls, and so she's a really unique talent, and we're excited to bring her with us. Yeah. You're getting a fair bit of a back catalogue now, having 10 albums out. How do you go narrowing down the ones to play? I'm guessing certain ones are expected. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like a song like March of Mephisto still is in set. Karma, for example. You know, well, we try to do different songs here and there, but every time we drop a song like The Center of the Universe, for example, we have so many people. Why didn't they play Center of the Universe? It's my favorite song. So it is kind of hard, but it's a blessing in disguise, you know. And we're going to be playing some new songs from Silverthorne, of course, on this tour as well. So we'll do our best to make the set list as diverse and kind of you know, crowd friendly as possible. Excellent. Now, your quick tour. Where are you going to after Australia? After Australia, we're taking the summer off, and then we do North American tour in September. Then we'll take a month off, and then we'll do European tour in November. And then it looks like we're going to do the 70,000 Tons of Metal cruise again in January. Okay. And then hopefully we'll go to South America to see our friends down there who have been asking about that every day. And then we'll probably start working on a new record sometime in 2014.
Okay. Do you write on the road at all?
Never.
No.
I mean,
No?
sometimes I might have a riff or something in sound check and record it on my iPhone or whatever. But when I'm on tour, I'm totally into tour mode. I like to, whenever possible, I like to see the city, go in and sightsee. And when I write music, I really have to be isolated. I really need to take time aside and go in a room over a certain amount of time, like 6 months, whatever, and just work on songs, work on ideas. Being on a tour bus, it's just too much going on, and there's too much fun going on. I don't want to sit down and work on music.
Yeah, okay. Thomas, it is fantastic to be able to say to you that we will see you in June.
Thank you.
We'd like to. I'd like to really thank you for coming on the line with me today and speaking to the people of Adelaide. Thanks for chatting with me, and we really look forward to seeing you in June, Thomas.
Thank you, and we want to see everybody at the shows. It's going to be a blast. We'll see everybody down there in June, and be good.
Thank you.